Kia ora, good evening. As we go to where the jury in a high-profile murder trials are heading home.
Almost an hour ago, the 11 men and women opted to take a break in deciding if Clayton Weatherston is guilty. They've been directed by the judge to consider if the accused was provoked into killing Sophie Elliott, his former student and girlfriend. Now, Lisa Davies has been our reporter at the High Court in Christchurch for the past 5 weeks and joins us now. Lisa.
Peter, the Elliott family actually stood to acknowledge the jury as they left the courtroom to begin their deliberations at about 1 o'clock this afternoon. Just half an hour after that, the jury was called back in. The defence had asked Justice Potter to address them on 3 separate issues from her summing up. At 4:30, they took another brief break, walking outside to clear their heads. Earlier today, they listened to 2.5 hours of summing up of all the issues in this case from the judge. The fate of self-confessed killer Clayton Weatherston is now in the hands of the jury.
Has the Crown proved that when the accused killed Sophie Elliott, he did so with murderous intent?
That is the question the jury of 11 is now considering.
Has the Crown proved that the accused was not acting under provocation when he killed Sophie Elliott? That, I suggest, is the pivotal issue in this case.
Justice Potter gave a questionnaire to the jury outlining what they must consider to come to the right verdict.
Did the accused, when he killed Sophie Elliott, intend to kill her?
If satisfied beyond reasonable doubt a murder was committed, Justice Potter told them they must then decide whether defence of provocation can be applied.
Was there something done or said by the deceased, Sophie Elliott, which deprived the accused of the power of self-control and induced him to kill?
In her summary, she read out the defence allegation Sophie Elliott lunged at Clayton Weatherston with a pair of scissors.
The Crown says the accused has made up these things and you should reject the accused's evidence.
She also said they must decide if they accepted the accused had narcissistic obsessive traits.
Whether such a person ought to have been able to resist provocation.
She told the jury in the end they must be dispassionate.
Put aside any concern you may have about the consequences for the accused Clayton Weatherston of a verdict of guilty of murder. Any feelings of horror or disgust about the nature of the injuries inflicted on Sophie Elliott. Any feelings of sympathy for the deceased Sophie and her family, or for that matter, for the Weatherston family.
That the jury must act as a judge would when deciding whether Clayton Weatherston is guilty of manslaughter or murder.
So, Lisa, the jury called it quits for the night just after 5 o'clock this evening. What other instructions did they get from the judge?
Well, Justice Potter has really been quite strict with them. This jury is not being sequestered tonight. They've gone home to their own beds. But what she did say to them is that they must not talk to anyone about this trial. They must not watch any media coverage on it. And they must basically treat themselves as if they have been sequestered until they return to that jury room at 9:30 tomorrow morning.
Thank you. That's Lisa Davies reporting live from the High Court in Christchurch tonight.